Alright, hey everyone, Wanderbots here, and welcome back to Fae Tactics. To Raven's Rest we go. There's dark things coming out of these woods, and we must find them.
And also the mysterious witch made their way here. Oh, it's the Halloween music again. Could Mama be here? All right, let's find out what's drawing these guys to Windale.
Okay. Let's see. Summons. Give me a second, I want to look around.
It's just a bunch of arcane.
Yeah, we still don't have any lightning guys.
So you're going to have to make her element change.
Yeah.
And just choose your most powerful creatures.
Yeah, I'm just going the Beetle Tars, because they've got hella range. Otherwise, we could just keep her fire anyway, because...
Why? Why not keep her electric if that's what the weakness is?
Yeah, that's true. It's just the scroll that switches her element is a team-wide buff, so... Giving a boost to all of my...
So if you had gone with fire or something, yeah, I can see what you mean.
Yeah. But the crit damage is probably more useful than a +3 damage bonus just to my fire guys. Because that's not actually that good. I was hoping we'd see some new enemy types. Let's see. They're all going to be protecting each other. This is going to be a bit of a mess.
Yep. The shield bearer specifically?
Let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, that one.
That should just delete him. All right. This might go faster than I thought. Depends a little bit. Okay, so what is beam? I'll have to figure out how beam works. Because, yeah...
You would think it would work with creatures that are in a direct line.
Yeah, maybe? It's the first character I've seen with a beam attack. All enemies in its path. Okay, so... We'll have to line up Pyachin better.
What do you like most about Halloween?
Admittedly, I don't get to experience it anymore, really. But I really like trick-or-treating. It was kind of fun. Just walking around with people and seeing the decorations.
For me, it was always just getting together with my friends in costumes.
Yeah. None of my friends were ever big on costumes. Which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, for me, it was... We loved going trick-or-treating. But by the time I think we reached high school, we just started to have the, one person hosts a get-together where we come in costume and, have food and soda and whatnot, and then we would play board games or watch a movie or play video games.
My senior year of high school, one of my group of friends decided to get together for one last trick or treat. And that actually was really fun because, it's a bunch of seniors in high school. So we could go for hours because we had the stamina and we didn't have to worry about looming parents. And we got to go to a lot of the neighborhoods that a lot of kids would skip, which turned out to actually be quite productive from a candy gathering standpoint because these were the people that were loaded with candy and nobody had taken it all yet.
Last year was my first year being the candy giver.
First and last.
Probably
around here.
last. But okay, so because our house has like this weird door that's on the side and whatnot, and we had absolutely no Halloween decorations, I stood outside completely clad in my fawn outfit that I usually take with me to Renaissance festivals. Dressed a little bit more warmly in it though. So I had a full sleeve shirt and whatnot underneath all my trappings. But I was standing out there with the light on and this large plastic bowl with all of the types of candy that we had. Mostly, you know, Snickers and Three Musketeers and Butterfingers and things like that. And so people would know to come up with us, and there were a lot of cute little kids dressed up as various characters, and I knew the majority of the characters and made comments and stuff like that, but I was just so appalled at how I would carefully instruct, you know, please choose whichever one is your favorite. You know, please take one. And I mean, the little kids, I can understand why they would just reach in and like try to grab a handful. But there were some teens that did that. And they wouldn't even look me in the eye, and this was after I said, please choose one. Because we only had so much candy.
Yep.
And so I was just disgusted, and I was thinking to myself, you know, here I was just trying to be generous and give them a choice, because I never liked it when you went to a place and they had a couple of varieties of candy, but they gave you your least favorite of the selection that they had. But in the future, I'm almost tempted, like if, you know, obviously it's not happening this year, but if we ever do hand out candy again, I'm either going to just get one type of candy across the board, like Smarties. No one really objects to Smarties, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just sugary candy. Because I know that people have issues with nutty or chewy, fruity, or chocolatey candy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if we find a candy that most people would sort of universally like, then I could just have one variety of said candy, and I would hand out a piece to each kid, and that would be it. Because, yep, I found out the hard way that there are some greedy and unscrupulous people, and because of that,
it's less of an issue in smaller neighborhoods where everybody kind of knows each other, but in bigger neighborhoods that people will truck out to.
Well, this is a neighborhood, too, that people would bring their kids to from other parts of town.
And so you get a lot more of the unethical people.
Yeah, so... And I had to turn in early for the night because I just didn't have any candy left.
Mm-hmm.
I had to shut the door. But in any case, Gah! This area is getting unstable. Huh? Is this near a world tear? It must be a minor tear. I can barely feel the energy from it. Oh, hey, look, it's that girl again.
Damla.
Peony. Great timing. I could use a hand right now. Damla. What are you doing here? You don't seem happy to see me. It's not you, it's just... You were hoping to find someone else. I know. Well, since you're here, mind giving me a hand? Is there a curse here like back in Autry's forest? A curse would draw in spirits from elsewhere. These spirits are from here are being sent out. I suspect there's something else behind their movements. It's further ahead, but I can't get past these guys. Okay, I guess we'll have to break through and find out what's going on.
I wonder if we end up recruiting Damla. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think you would get any party members that were witches as well. But, yeah.
Well, we got space for at least 2 more leaders, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do we have any treasure chests? Nope. All right. Open season.
Yeah, it's really just battle your way through.
You know, I kind of like these levels purely because... Let's see.
Now, what's up with the magical platforms? You can't stand on them for long, or what happens?
I honestly have no idea. I think they're just floating by magic.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen them fall. I guess we'll pay attention. I'll stay off of them for a bit.
I mean, it could also be a thing they're surrounded by a purple light. I don't know if that's just to indicate that it's arcane magic that's keeping them afloat, or if you aren't arcane yourself, it doesn't react to you well. I don't know.
Well, I guess I'll have her do it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I would like to do some proper Halloween parties as an adult. Because, like, we did 1 or 2 kind of in college, but they were not great. Like,
I don't even remember them.
We were in costume, but it was like... It was very meh.
Mm-hmm.
And...
I know that one that your floor had hosted off campus,
yeah.
we just left after...
Because it was boring.
Yeah.
And, like... It was at my ex's house, which was not necessarily very interesting.
Really?
What? I'll mention it. Like, it was just weird. It was. It's like, we went, and it was like, oh yeah, this is shared with this person. And it was already boring, and so, like... When,
okay.
yeah.
You didn't mean it was, like, their house.
No,
it was
like,
just
they
where
didn't
they were
own
staying.
it. Yeah, well, they rented, like, the upstairs room? I don't remember. I had honestly forgotten. It was just, like, her and her creepy boyfriend showed up, and it was like, alright. Well, we're already bored, so bye.
Yeah, she did end up with all the creeps, didn't she?
She did. I almost feel bad. This is the... oh, gosh.
You shouldn't get into it.
Probably
That
not.
is
It'll
just...
never get back to me, but... This is the guy that thought motor oil in his hair was actually acceptable.
Wasn't the taking upskirt shots of people, right?
Yeah, no, same guy.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, some idiot
He
gave
should have
him the
been kicked
camera
off
and he's...
the floor then.
Yeah, he spent an entire weekend taking upshirt shots of various girls. We didn't find out until after the fact. Absolutely should have reported him. The fact that we didn't is just baffling.
I mean, your floor was a guys' club.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that got swept under. Nothing heinous. Like, I'm sure if something terrible would have happened, I mean, I would have. That was just kind of like a, oh gosh, you were a creepy person. And, like, nothing more came of it. Yeah, he was just so weird.
That goes beyond weird, though.
Oh yeah,
that is predatory and disgusting.
Oh, these guys straight up can't climb these floating platforms. So I guess my artillery monsters are actually a terrible idea for this area.
Yep.
Terrible-ish.
Well, if you kill something with the ranged attack, will you be able to transform one of them at least back into that?
Nope, too late. It's fine.
Oh, they can only transform once.
Yeah, the mimic is a one-time deal, but oh well.
Do you specifically choose when they transform, or is it only the first thing that they kill?
First thing that they either do a support move on or kill.
Interesting. Oh, right, because you can transform into your own units. You're right.
I could kind of take the long way around, but I don't really need to. Yeah, because they can't burrow up this.
Mm-hmm.
They're effectively stuck. That's hilarious.
Yep.
I do really like the Halloween-y aesthetic that they've managed here.
I like the color palette.
Yeah, purples and oranges are a nice look.
Then again, I think we're a little biased.
True. It's weird. I chose orange for Wanderbot because I figured it would stand out well. I still don't regret that as a marketing decision. For whenever I think about like favorite colors and stuff, orange is rarely at the top of my list.
Statistically, orange is consistently at the bottom of most adults' lists of favorite colors.
The interesting thing is, like, I don't
Blue
really
tends
think
to be
about
urinal
favorite color.
No, but you have to think about favorite color. If you're to buy a shirt or a specific item where you only want one of them, but there are different varieties
I think
based
my
on
biggest
color.
problem with orange is I prefer burnt orange, and so few games, media, anything has like a good burnt orange. Like the orange of the continue in the bottom right is actually like my favorite type of orange.
I would consider this a flame orange.
That's about the same thing. Burnt orange, flame orange.
No, burnt orange always has a little tinge of brown to it.
Yeah, so what I prefer is a slightly desaturated red orange. But like you always get the really just like the full yellow orange is I think what gets to me, because it's just not pretty looking half the time. Hello.
Oh, look at that thing. Wait, really? Now, also, can you elucidate for this me? I always say lich,
Yes.
but I've also heard people say leash.
No.
Or lich.
I've heard Lich a
Lich.
couple of times, but
I like saying lich.
Yeah, it's absolutely Lich in almost every media. I've only heard Lich in like movies or something, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's just nobody caught it. Like, or was it movies or was it like an animated film? But it might have been one of those where the voice actor didn't know how to pronounce it and nobody bothered to catch it. What was I playing
Unless
recently
there's
where
like a
that got
traditional
happened?
pronunciation that we just don't adhere to. But in any case. A lich fairy. What's a lich fairy? Only one member of a fairy clan can reproduce. The archon, right? Without her, the clan will die. Correct. Some clans go to great lengths to protect their archon. Some have even been known to delve into dark arts of necromancy. Well, the dark arts. Wait. Is that a headless lady?
Yes.
With a flame? Ugh! I don't like the sound of that. By becoming a lich. Sorry. Now I'm thinking of leech and lich, and it's messing me up. This archon has become immortal, ensuring her clan's survival. However, the process of becoming a lich drives them quite mad. I'm sure that she's the one sending the spirits to attack Windale. More humans have come to play. We shall pluck their wings like they do to us. My Archon, humans don't have wings. They don't? I guess taking their arms and the legs will have to do. Defeating her will be tough if we don't destroy her phylactery. Her what now? That magical item over there. Parts of her soul are separated into it, making her extremely hard to kill. Destroying it will make her more vulnerable to attacks. I'll support you with healing magic. Right.
Okay. I think my dudes are fine. My biggest thing is I need to get up to that. Let's see. Ooh, I like this music. Oh. Oh. That's normal. Is it just these two? Okay. I think I like the arc attack better on Pyachin. The beam is a neat idea, but enemies almost never line up. Wow, this song is really good.
Now, what I do not understand in the slightest is, so archons are the only ones that can reproduce.
Correct.
But if you have a Lich, I don't see how she'll be able to reproduce being undead. Like, I can understand if the clan's power and strength starts to fade away if they don't have their fairy queen. But to have something undead still producing healthy children for the next generations,
I think the point is they don't really care if it's healthy children. They just need children.
How do they even have children? Then again, the Fae, they don't make the most sense.
Nope.
In fact, all the Fae that we've been presented with have been female too, so
Maybe
it's possible
one
they reproduce by budding.
Yeah, well, wasn't that it? That she dropped like a seed?
Mm-hmm.
So
Could
that's
be like ooblets,
Yeah.
where they just pop out seeds after every dance battle.
That is the silliest.
Didn't they even have that farting sound? Like,
Yeah. It is.
we were making so many jokes about how it's like, I lost, here's my offspring.
God. Not only is it a headless horseman situation,
She's carrying the head, yes.
her eyes are stitched shut.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait. So do you see this in the portrait?
Yeah.
Oh, gross. I mean, that could be an allusion to how corpses are actually prepared. You don't see it, but morticians do stitch the eyes shut.
I mean, it would be bad if a lid accidentally...
Kind of slid open.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they even do that with the mouth, too. They, like, tie a line to keep the jaw shut. There's a lot of
Do they
gruesome...
still do that?
Huh?
Do they still do that?
Yes. That if you're having a viewing, and if you're going to have, like, your body on display, then yeah.
Okay. I was just kind of mildly assuming they're probably better modern techniques.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, maybe glues and adhesives, but stitching is... It's a surefire way, I suppose.
Oh. I forgot we have power attacks that we can do. The EX moves.
It is interesting to think about sometimes. I mean, in many countries, they are running out of spaces to bury their dead.
Yeah.
In Europe, it's even gotten to the point where they cycle out grave sites and dig up the old coffins and corpses and empty the plots out for someone new. I think that is why cremation has become so popular.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd be personally fine with that instead. Much simpler, much cheaper. Ooh, that hurt.
I know it's a little... I don't want to say gruesome, because it actually is quite pretty when I've seen it implemented. But there are some places where you have the ashes rolled into glass.
Yeah.
Or like carbon, so that they can be made into gemstones or diamonds. Because I always found keeping an urn with a bunch of ash in it being a little... I mean, first off, urns, unless they're made out of something durable, are breakable. How many times have you seen in a comedy movie a dog or a person accidentally tip over some ashes and you have grandma on the floor? Do you know what I mean?
That's kind of dark, but yeah.
Wasn't there... I swear I saw a comedy where someone had accidentally tipped over an urn, and not only were the ashes spilled on the floor, but the family cat immediately walked into the ash and took a dump on it.
I am pretty sure I've seen that movie.
So that made it even more horrifying.
She's supposed to be supporting us with healing magic. She's terrible. Hyachin is just so much better of a healer than Domla is right now. Domla's like, I'll support you with healing. Jumps next to me. Waits.
Mm-hmm. What is she using?
Big AoE move hits everybody.
I've noticed that when they use their ultimate moves, there is this peculiar creature with a mask, and it changes depending on what element it is.
Yeah, so different...
Are those like the essences of the particular
well,
element?
it's like the healing spell is a fairy, or...
I just have never seen any of these other creatures yet. So it's interesting. I'd like to know if there are specific aspects of the magic. Yeah, the reason why there's still a heavily steeped tradition of having full bodies being buried in coffins is because there was the superstition that if ever
you needed the full body.
You needed the full body if there was ever going to be like the resurrection or the rapture or something. But it's interesting because if you think about it, there are so many ancient societies. If you look back to, what was it? Like the Viking funeral and the funeral pyres that you would see in like Greece and Rome and such. Like, flames have been used for millennia. And in some, didn't they have it that the soul needed to be released that way?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just interesting.
Definitely a bit risky, but I want to get that chest.
I don't really believe that souls can exist outside of our own brains, though.
Yeah, which is a bit... I don't know. This is
And it's morbid. Then again, we're talking about liches here.
True.
And the fact that there were these headless horseman women with their eyes sewn shut and such. It's all related, tangentially.
Okay, so far so good.
Do you know what's one thing I do wish?
Sure.
Looking at these statues, I wish there were more gardens like the ones that we had gone through in Croatia with the elaborate stones.
Yeah. Yeah, the graveyards in Croatia are quite cool. I would almost prefer, and maybe this is too mean, but I would.
Mean?
Well, I would almost prefer graveyards became decorative instead of like having separate tombstones for things. The garden just the graveyard just becomes a garden. You know, you kind of pick the theme that you want to be buried around.
Oh yeah, there's one over in actually the same graveyard that my grandfather's urn is in, except he's behind a glass case where his brother is out in the garden.
Yeah.
But what it is, it's like this little walking trail that goes around all these trees and meanders, and there's like these little benches and other things. But everyone's quote-unquote tombstone is just a little rock that has a little plaque on it. And if you looked at the rocks from any other angle, they would just look like decorative stones that had been placed on the side of the path, but...
Yeah, and that could work, but, just make it a lovely place to walk and explore. As opposed to just a series of kind of rotting tombstones.
Yeah. And especially, when they're all just rows upon rows upon rows. And I think that's the thing. The little garden that I was talking about, everyone had to have been in an urn. Because an urn would fit underneath those stones. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think all the people that have coffins, they have to have those rows. Because that's the most space efficient. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Just having all the coffins side by side. Whereas with the little urns, you could get creative with their placement under the ground. Because they're going to be less than a foot by a foot. You know? What is it? People only really produce up to 3 pounds of ash? Or something?
Maybe? I don't know.
It was something like that. It's not much material.
Okay, so now Damla's actually being quite helpful.
The number does seem quite low considering the average adult's probably 150 pounds. You know? Are we really that much water?
We're a considerable amount, yeah.
Not to mention a lot of stuff gets burned off.
No, why? Oh, you shit.
Oh no. No retreat. But no, I do agree. It would be nice to have gardens. Though I would also like to see some nice, fountains and statues. Because I really love the tombstones or the memorials that have these beautiful statues. Kind of like guardians.
This is awkward. I was hoping I could just sneak around with her and get the... There we go.
Oh, thank goodness.
I was hoping I could sneak around and grab the chest, break the phylactery, but she just turns around and one-shots Peony, and it's like, oh. Oh, that was a mistake.
Oh, ouch.
Okay, it wasn't as big of a mistake as I thought it was going to be.
So do you only have one phylactery left? And then the chest, if you really want to go for it.
Yeah, I got one more, and then I want to go for the chest. Not actually sure what the talismans are. Give me some max HP. Give everybody some damage.
Rally how?
Yep.
Oh.
Is a permanent 20 damage buff to all party members, which is really nice.
Oh, nice. Ruinous wind. You know, I've never seen that before. Undead fairies.
Yeah.
Because I've most definitely seen people's renditions of undead mermaids, undead dragons, undead... what other kind of creatures? Yeah, but I suppose it's because fairies are supposed to be so small and beautiful and elegant, and yeah. I suppose, though, there are depictions of malevolent tooth fairies.
Yeah.
Remember the ones from Hellboy 2?
Hellboy 2, and I want to say, ow.
Didn't Pan's Labyrinth had bad fairies as well?
Pan's Labyrinth had terrifying. And down.
I haven't seen that movie in such a long time.
I should not have sent Peony along. She can't jump.
Ah, interesting. He looks like he needs to be healed.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't have any heals. Oh, good. Her ultra's ready already.
Ah! Another ruinous wind.
Well, it's
Poor
okay.
Chico.
It's okay. She's not actually terribly dangerous on her own. What does he have?
Ah, Vision.
Yep. Okay, she hops over and hits Chico with a big ol' heel. Oh, there we go.
Hold still a moment, I shall mend your wounds. River of Life.
Oh, that helps.
It'd be interesting if healing magic could do damage like it does in other games.
Yeah, to undead.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked that trope. It was fun. Starfall Talisman.
Ooh. Definitely get that.
There we go.
Did you get the talisman?
Yup. And then I absolutely bombarded her for 300 damage. That was a good hit. Dude, what's that ghost thing up there?
Wait, what ghost thing?
Up here, like at the top. Like the very top, this thing.
Oh, I thought there was a plant.
Oh, maybe that's it. It just looked really creepy.
Yeah, see, it's,
oh,
it's
it
one
is.
of the floating plants. She's gone. That should stop the spirits attacking Windale. The Archon said humans were plucking their wings. Maybe she wasn't crazy. What if she was just protecting her clan? Even if it's true that humans attacked them, their efforts were misdirected. I've been to Windale myself, and there were no traces of fairy mana. If they were torturing and killing any fairies there, humans would have no way of hiding the mana released from the bodies. Unless they had a witch working with them. Aurelius and Marcus were looking for someone called Mirar. I should meet up with them and find out what they've learned. Marar. If you meet her, please do be careful. She is not known for her kindness.
I wonder if we ever get further levels on these.
Ooh, so what could Marar be doing with fairy wings? Does she need them as an ingredient in something?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Well, unfortunately, Windale's battled. And this is a great stopping point. So, we will see you on the next episode of Fae Tactics. I don't know, that's it for my outro. I don't got anything further this time around.
And, you know...
Thanks for watching.
Hopefully we'll go to a better environment so that we don't talk about... Death. Enough with the crypts.
Okay. That's what they've been using.
Starfall.
Starfall. Alright. Anyway, see ya. Thanks for watching. Oh, and we're locked in. We can't go to another region until we do the Windale story.
Oh.
Huh.